Okay, so getting things booted up here. So give me just a moment, folks. I don't know. Can you guys hear the background music at all? Or is my stream just like completely botched? I haven't done like an actual stream in a hot moment. Okay, so getting things booted up here. But regardless, let me go ahead and get my main screen for today that I was going to work with. It's duplicated? Okay, let me see if I can fix that. Oh wait, I see the issue. I literally have two audio channels. You guys can't even tell it's duplicated. Or I can't even tell it's duplicated. I'm the one yapping. But yeah, so tonight it's going to be, I think it'll be a fun night for housekeeping stuff. Because, like, I'm just so far behind in, like, doing things I want to do. I'll switch views here in just a moment, though. So don't worry, don't worry. So first things first, I guess I can go ahead and probably change my screen here in a second. I just wanted to get one more thing on, get my ad block on. Okay, let's go ahead and switch over. Fixed, perfect. Thank you so much. Thank you for letting me know, man. Okay, so you guys might be curious, and let's see, like, I'm on a single monitor tonight. I was out at my LGS today, and we have a store regional going on tomorrow, or store championship tomorrow for One Piece. So I helped them get a stream set up, and we're going to be doing a similar thing for Digimon when that comes around too. And I thought it'd be really cool, just like have a yap session with y'all, kind of go through things because I'm making sure I have streams up on my side because tomorrow I'm going to be running it entirely. And then for the official store regional, I'll be passing it off to Risu and the gang. I know you're here in chat. Audio is still doubled? Duped around two. Ooh. Let's see. Oh, I bet you I know what happened. I bet you I know what happened. If I go here. Yeah, there it is. Okay. I promise I sometimes know how to stream. Yeah, I was going to say, y'all know what's up. Y'all know what's up. It's going to make a fun tier list. I think this would be a fun way to kind of like chat with y'all and give you some of my opinions and thoughts on things going on here. And I think it'd be a really cool way to bring in stuff from what's happening lately because we've seen like East videos about, hey, this is what's performing well, like Japan locals. I don't think we've really seen that yet for like NA locals. And I have 2 weeks of data of BT21 stuff with Stardex for y'all. Y'all contributed to this, so I think it'd be fun to go through it together because we can look as a whole and we can make opinions. We can throw stuff wherever we want, and it can mean whatever it means from like my perspective. But just something we can make together as a community, I think would be a lot more fun. If I had my second monitor, it'd be a lot easier for me to build this. But let's just go through it together. Is probably going to be the first thing. So, anyways, so I just kind of pulled the first one up here. We can add more as we go through. But I do want to start with probably our biggest event for BT21 so far. And I know if you haven't seen this yet, if you go to Eggman events, I have the BT 12 page pulled up. You don't have to worry about that. That was like my bookmarked page for the longest time. We have two events here on Eggman events. He helps out a lot out with the channel about promoting along with Risu and everyone here in the gang. But I always want to start with our biggest event we've had. And you can look at this pie chart. We have 2/3 that are entirely one deck, and then the other third is kind of like split up. I think we can see what's popular coming up, or at least trending really well. Hunters is probably going to be the deck just from like a very subjective standpoint. I can even show you like metagame breakdowns. Hunters is the most popular deck, but it's a really wide meta right now. So if we look here for Hunters, actually, do we even have a Hunters image on this? Oh, there it is. Hunters, unless you count that as like Hero Soup. I absolutely do not like calling it Tier 1. We can call this what does he call it? Like, we can just say most popular. And then we can call this like, I would call this probably a Tier 2. Tier 3, Tier Fun, and Tier No. Evening, crew. Hey, Shiga, how you doing, man? I have to like look over here because I have my laptop as my second screen right now. Meta defining, yeah, we can call it that. I like calling it popular right now because we're still so early into the format, figuring out like what's going to be played. But anyways, uh, so Hunters I think is definitely like in that top tier of like most popular stuff right now. Like we can look at that. We can look at the pie charts. We can look at metagame. It's like it's represented the most in all the events so far. It's topping the most. I think it's very fair to say it belongs there. Another deck I thought was actually really interesting here is we are seeing Anga kind of popping up again. Anga being, was it 4th and 8th here respectively. So if we're looking at like 8 spots, it's 3 of them or 2 of them. So that should be what, like a quarter? Oh, I guess technically the pie chart's a little off. Or no, that's a third. That's a quarter. I think Anga's a good spot just because it's a deck that's like consistent. It's kind of hard to like mess up Anga deck. It's solved for the most part. Like we can take a look at these decks as a whole. And I think another thing that really stands out is if you look at hybrid decks right now, and I'm not just talking Anga, they have a really cool flexibility that lots of other decks don't have right now. And that is a way to naturally slot in floodgates. And you can actually see shared ratios. I'm looking at like Marco's purple hybrid list. I'm looking at the Anga list that KNS had, and I believe Blake also ran this in my webcam locals. They have basically 4 slots of like rookie hate, Solarmons and Gatsus, or for purple hybrid, it was Gazis and Psychmons. You can't naturally like put floodgates in a lot of decks right now. Can't believe didn't put up data for Worlds. It's just a lot's happening really fast, and it's also the end of a format, Shiga. I think is why we didn't have that. Yeah, Floodgate Soup, though. Exactly, Risu. That's a lot of it right now. And once we have like a more refined meta, Floodgates become so much more powerful. I don't think we even have a thing here for... We have Purple Hybrid for sure. And we definitely have... Did we have a Blue Hybrid on here? We didn't. Gosh, you guys are going to learn like how boomer I am on like learning some stuff. But if you go TCG Plus, card search, let's go ahead and get something for Anga on there. Oh, I'm in Gundam right now. Switch here. The reason you go here is because you get card images without sample text. And then I call this Anga. It's going in my topping data for now. And then I believe we can just upload directly here. Yeah, there we go. It's going to be a little botch. But I think Anga probably goes in the same slot here. And let's get his purple hybrid. Until like we see like the meta like clear up a lot more. I think it's probably where I'm going to put it. Purple hybrid definitely has a lot of like power and potential. Marcos did a really good job at the Monday's webcam locals with them. I really was not expecting it to be refined into like this pretty hyper aggro build. The fact you can chain Gallant on Gallant is really cool too. You have the first one you play for free after your board's empty, then you play this one popping the other one, you're going to be playing it for free anyways. Yeah, he was also in Japan too, that is true, Risu. Cries and Royal Knights. Yeah, I mean, Royal Knights is one of those decks I was kind of expecting to be more popular, but people are kind of ready to like try out some of the new decks. It's like, we got our little Royal Knight guy here, our Omeka. I think it's probably like a... I guess tier 2 might be a little mean to say here. But it's like, oldies but goodies is probably just a better way to put this right now. Anyways, so going back to like being like more objective, like looking at stats, like Royal Knights was like second place in the largest event we've had so far. If we look at some of our other events here, what else we got? We got our previous week's win a box where we had armors win. I haven't seen that much armors like taking place, but if you look at like TCG player stuff, you can see it's like the most expensive like base SR now for the set after Medusa, if I remember correctly. Like, you guys will see me do rants. But like, if you do best matching or best selling, like it's Medusa and Davis. Those are the highest like dollar base SRs right now. I think you're probably going to see armors popping up like in the upcoming weeks is like really popular. And do we even have a thing for armors here? Yeah, we do. I'll probably say realistically, you'll see these two together in like the popular category. They're new decks, they're good decks. And if we see like a meta revolve around needing floodgates, I think, like I was saying earlier, where you'll see these two decks pop up. And Royal Knights, I don't think really fell behind ever. Yeah. Anyways, so moving on to a few other decks. We put armors on top. That was one of our winning lists. We put Purple Hybrid on there. We put Anga on there. Let's see. Kraus was another fun one. This was a fun deck to watch on stream. If you guys haven't seen, Risu and I have basically been going through re-uploading our match clips. We've been kind of clipping it up. But the card that stands out is how crazy this new Omni Shout is. The fact this Omni Shout basically lets you recycle pieces and be like uber aggressive with a very minimal like costs. Really cool setup once you get it going. Monfusion really showcased that in our webcam locals. If I actually tier cross, I don't know if I would. Do we even have a thing for cross here? We don't, but I can pull up. Oh wait, we had a Taiki. We had a Taiki on here. That was like the first. Yeah, my bad. There you go. I think it's fun tier. I don't know if it's competitive tier, but the Omni Shout does have a lot of potential. And you guys can tell me if you think differently in the chat. If you see my head drifting inside, like I said, I'm reading chat. I'll go ahead and put this down here right now. I think because I'm putting Atmon like tier fun, cross is definitely better. And I'll even be generous and call this like tier 2. Like, it's just like, it does enough. It's pretty fair when it does it all, but it's not like going to overperform at all. And that's my definition of Virus. I think Virus is just tier 2, unless Floodgates really matter for the decks. But, like, you don't care about the Floodgates of play-by effects for armor or hunters. You don't really care about it in Purple Hybrid either. You play out the Tamer by an effect. But it's like, I guess it kind of matters for resource management, because you don't want to pay for the Tamer, and it gets your next attack step for cheap. So I guess it makes sense there. And against Royal Knights, you stop the Omeka. But it's like, it just really depends, like, if you think these oldies but goodies are going to be under the most popular stuff. And I think new stuff's just going to be, obviously, more popular, more enjoyable for folks. I think Galaxy's probably in this, like, weird limbo state. Like, once you see Galaxy get refined a bit better, or you see a meta refined a bit more, Galaxy matters more. Because Galaxy against Hunters is actually really good. Because you have Hexablow. Hexablow is a crazy card. Against Armors, Hexablow is also a crazy card against that. And guess what? We have other hybrid decks which do not like Hexablow either. So if you're doing blue-based Galaxy, I think Hexablow does a whole lot of work. But we have to really see if we're going to see like other decks that care about that. But Hexablow has no protection either, which is another thing that matters a lot. Because like we look at Adventure here, I think Adventure will be picking up soon. This deck is super cheap to build, guys. Like, you buy 2 starter decks, and if you get starter decks for like 12 a pop, it's $24, $48 to get like a starting point. Let's. But it's like the Secret Ties, and you don't even need more than 2. Like, I think 2 is already a lot for the secrets in that deck. And this is like a little bit of like opinion coming up, but also it's a deck that takes a little bit more to figure out. Where are we? Because we saw, where is it? We're in the wrong week. If we go to the week after. If you guys watch the stream, Ben has had a really solid run with Adventure. I think this is definitely a pilot-heavy deck. The stronger the pilot is, the better the skill expression will be for the power of this deck. Yeah, that's true, Michael. There are some people that don't care about the starter deck itself and just want to get the Altart scrambles too. So it is technically more accessible for some players, and some people aren't buying the deck for the actual deck. But we already have another, I believe it's 2 sets of support for this deck alone. And having 2 waves of support for this one deck, I think is already a lot. Like, it should be pushing more people to play it. Because the more you practice a deck that has, like, future support and more evergreened, the better your long term performance is going to be, especially if it has, like, a higher skill cap like this deck does. Because you can set up the Our Courage United, and once you have it proc off, you can go into a Toget, which goes into Angelomon. Angelomon digivolves another stack. And if you end on like a Melga, you bot deck things. But you're really playing this deck more of like a defensive wall. You take the first like 2 or 3 security checks, and then you set up a wall of blockers hiding behind like the Izzy and Ty. And then with the not Cody, TK and Matt. I just want to say it's the short yellow tamer guy. You can really get a lot of value off of that. I was playing locals this Friday, and I lost to an adventure deck playing Galaxy because my last check was the blocker Izzy and Ty, and he gave like 4 weenies blocker, and I had no way to get around it at that time until I added to my Paladin Ace. But that tamer can do a lot in security when you're not expecting it. And I know I've kind of like rambled on a little bit, but our Courage United having basically always live stack. Like if you put up 1 or 2 Digimon on the board, you'll always threaten aces. You'll always threaten removal via either Digivolve, bouncing, or this build's not running the Lilymon Ace. The Lilymon Ace is actually really good too. But anyways, I definitely think it belongs under probably most popular. It's a little bit of prediction coming up. It's new, it's fresh, it has exciting combos, lots of board building. And I might I don't know if you guys know, I'm not a big fan of Galacti. I don't think it's something that you should play for a comp level at all. I think Atmon has a lot more potential than Galacti does. But that might be my fighting words coming out there. We'll also find out like when bigger tournament results come up. But I haven't seen a Galactic deck impress me yet. I play tested it. It just felt kind of underwhelming. I don't think we have any Galacties that are actually doing well in like our webcam events either. Like we might have like one. I think it's called like Venmon. Yeah, there it is. We had one go 1-4. I don't think we've had anyone actually sleeve up the deck in any of our events. Yeah, nothing in that one. Metagame. This is one we were just on. Yeah, this one we are just on. And it's not even like the fact that it's a hard deck to proxy or you're really needing a lot. Like you have the promo Destros, which are like needed for the deck, but I don't think it folds without them. But anyways, I think Galactic kind of belongs there. Other decks to talk about. Magnamon, I think this is basically the same as Armors. Like you can put them side by side. This is like a more defensive build of Armors. Armors is like a bit more aggressive, like in its nature. It was called Armor Rush. And if you emphasize more the Magnamon X build, you should have more defensive capabilities that matter. Against Hunters, you just block their big attack because you should be. I guess actually the Arresters are probably bigger if you run the hero stuff, right? Because with heroes you get 2k, which is essentially a 3k inherit on the Arrestor Superior for a new one, and he's like base 10 or 12. Remind me, chat. How big is base Arrestor Superior from BT21? He's 10, so with one hero inherit, so like he's like 13. So if we tuck the Arrestor or the Gumdra from the heroes deck, he's a 13k body, and you need 2 of those and one other source. So if you pushed out Raising and you had a free Evo, you should be bigger than the Magna X. So I guess that's probably a reason to put Magna X a little lower. I'm kind of like convincing myself. Yeah, 10 base. Thank you, Michael. I appreciate it. But yeah. It's like they're oldies and goodies still. Like I think if people play it, it's still a good deck. I'm not gonna laugh too much. Gallimon, I think it's probably in that oldies and goodies tier list section. Like, and we can just kind of throw uh, Blue Green Imperial with it. I think Blue Green Imperial is much better than Virus Imperial. Like, you actually have a game plan that progresses board state. It's aggressive. I feel like the chances of you breaking and not having a playable hand is a lot less likely than Virus Imperial because not only do you need pieces in hand, you need pieces in trash for Virus to actually pop off. I'm going to go ahead and yeet Take under there. Take is not really playable now. Sakuya is kind of under the same issue as Galaxy. These two decks really rely on the meta. I'll be real. Let's just. How hard is it? Add row below. I think this is what I'm going to call. So I'm going to put these under the. It depends on the meta a lot more. Why am I saying that? They're both reactive or proactive, like lock decks, and creating locks don't really matter until you get to that. Like, the meta needs to have either a memory floodgate, so like if we know Gazis are needed. In the case of Sakuya, you're doing Ruin Mode Blankets with on plays turned off. For Galaxy, you're stopping aggressive decks from like tiny little chips constantly. You're bomb decking Tamers. And you have a lot of different tools for how you want to build it. You can run the Galaxy Dragon build where it's red topping and you have medievals, so you stop them playing Digimon out. But it really just depends if the meta shapes around them well. If you're playing Galaxy against like a locals that's all Chronicle, it's rough. So we can talk about birds. We can talk about birds here. I agree, it is probably in the tier 2 category right now, but generic alliance is really good. It's like, here, let me pull up .dev. For anyone who does not know, you can do #D type adventure, and this pulls up all the adventure trait cards. One thing I want to like at least briefly talk about: every level 5, the ESS is just generic alliance. It's just generic alliance. Generic alliance. The reason that matters, it will give decks a push that didn't naturally have a push before. And I think that's something that's really cool to look at. Right now, I don't think it matters. I think the Garuda probably matters the most. But like you said, it's not really overwhelming right now. If anything, it's just like, it's kind of cute. Shine Great. This is a deck I'm actually surprised I don't see more people playing. The reason I think Shine is probably not being played as much is it's not as exciting. Your new lines are really good. Off of one memory, I believe you can cleave all 5 securities with no issue. But I haven't seen anyone like play it. Like, I think it's just a fun lab more than anything at this point. Levia, I think this goes in the same category as like Sakuya and Galaxy. It just really depends. What's popping up? Are we playing by effects? We got Floodgate Hate. If Blue Green Imperial pops up more, this deck's great. If you see Adventure popping off with Our Courage United, this pops off. But it doesn't care about Hunters. It doesn't care about Magna Armors. Levia doesn't really do well into those decks. And don't remind me how bad it is into Gallant and Magna. The decks with like immune bodies. It's just so bad into them. But if you see certain decks take off, it can do a lot better. Oh, a deck that's not on here I do want to talk about. You guys have kind of seen the prices spike for some of the cards in this deck. I'm super surprised we don't have more Megidramon players. Or at least anyone trying the deck. I've tested it. It's actually pretty decent. Oh, I'm in the wrong one. That's why. I think it's under documents or desktop, webcam topping data. There we go. I actually pulled a different Anga art. Lol. This isn't an oldie. I think this will start picking up sooner than later. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, Eggman was in Japan for a while. Like, it wasn't just like a fun trip, it was a work trip for him, too. Like, you had to think he was doing stuff. He streamed One Piece in his hotel room one day. And that was just wild to me. Demon Lords, I'm going to throw in. It's probably tier 2 ish right now. It also could just be really fringe on the meta. The meta is a little aggressive right now. Hunters is bad for it. Armors is probably bad for it. I imagine Adventure's probably bad for it. So I think I'm talking myself into putting it tier 2. This Takuya, you can call this Hero Soup. You can call it Red Hybrid. I think I'm probably calling it Hero Soup. And I think it looks fun, but I don't think it's really good right now. Angels, I think this deck could do well, but it depends on the meta shaping around the deck being relevant. Leopard, I don't know what that's supposed to be. But anyways, are we missing anything else? Yeah, oh, I guess we can, like, kind of touch up on it a little bit. Like, what is Magidramon? Like, you just kind of mentioned it there, Shiga. Magidramon, the promo for this deck is pretty core because you recur trash pieces. Um, do you guys even know, like, what a full Magidra deck looks like? Like, because if you guys haven't played it, this deck's actually really fun. So let's start with the egg, Gigimon. You yeet 4 of those in. We're playing 4 Gilex. You're playing 4 the Rush Gills. And I believe it's, yeah, BT21. It's like, that's your rookie base. You never touch that. This is like Eagle X tangent here. Yeah, you run the new Growlmon, you run the new War Growl. The War Growl is really like the only level 5 you care about. And this is the new Magidri mod. You run like roughly 2 of the option. And we need the promo gallants. I don't remember a keyword that searches them both. And the promo is down here. So, like, this is the basic core of the deck for, like, what you're doing as Gallantmon. The idea is you build up the stack, or Magidramon. You build up the stack, you go into War Growl, and War Growl has an effect on swing. You can Digivolve into a Magidramon or Chaos Gallant. For every 10 cards in both trash, you reduce the Digivolve cost by 1. So the idea is you're swinging with your level 5, go into Magidramon. Magidramon has security attack +1, so he's doing 2 checks by himself, and then at the end of his attack, he's going to be deleting all Digimon. When you delete with the War Growl, which you will be playing as your main level 5, you trash your opponent's top security, so that's 3 damages. And then his deletion effect to play level 3 or lower, to play a Guilmon or Growlmon, without paying the costs, and then you can increase the play costs up to like 7. To play War Growl's like the top end of it. But if you just play out the Guilmons, not that one, EX4 Guilmon, says unplay Rush, that's another check. So we've done 2 security checks, you burned 1, you have a Rush Gil for a 4th one. Assuming Rush Gil dies, if you play your final piece being BT13 Gallant Rush into Promo Gallant, that could be game right there. That is your full combo for basically the OTK. Oh yeah, we're back to the conversation about decks. I'm missing Zafaga. We're missing. You believe in Hero Soup a little bit after seeing Marshmallow play it. It's a fun deck. I don't know if I would play it competitively though. But like, that's your whole line though. It's you build up your first stack, you go into War Growl. War Growl evils Magidra. Magidra does 2 checks. When he dies, you pop the 3rd. You play out a Rush Gil. He swings for check 4. BT13 Gallantmon swings for check 5. And then Promo Gallant deletes BT13 Gallant and rushes for game. Like, that's your entire combo. So if you haven't played Magidramon, it's a really fun deck. And this is the core for it. You can build it however you want. Like, I'm on the philosophy, if I'm playing a deck, I love consistency. So let's pull up. Oh, I can spell purple options. So, like, if I'm building a deck, I want maximum consistency. Maximum consistency is going to be stems from, like, your search cards. So, like, you want your 4 trainings because you want to do it as fast as possible. You want your 4 boosts to be as efficient. Because if you're playing these offensive combo decks, you want to consistently have certain pieces. I guess you could argue instead of purple memory boost, you can do red memory boost because you don't hit these two. But like that's the concept I would go for building this deck. You want to find your pieces all the way up, and once you get to your top end, you're just swinging game. Uh, Magidra, I definitely would. I think Magidra is fun. It's fun and it's very full and competent. Anyways, back to our tier list. We're talking about decks. We're talking about Examon. Examon's a deck that kind of has like a rogue spot right now. Here, let's go ahead and let's add it to the tier list. I'm going to drive some of you guys crazy because I don't have these squared images. I think Examon's probably in the tier 2 category. Because like this whole deck's built around like making these like pseudo protected stacks, and every single time I see the Exmon pieces, I'm just like, I feel like it's okay. So what? And if I see you do all this work for a so what payoff, it doesn't feel like it's worth it to me. It's like if you go into the X, you have Exmon is probably the keyword soup deck of all the decks right now, but it's just like I don't know. I guess the best part is like you get a trash as security card, and it's all turns. You do have lots of swinging and restanding, but if you just want to play a deck that's trying to make sticky bodies that are hard to answer, why don't you play Armors? I feel like Armors is just like a much more low to the ground, easier to play version of Examon. And you have like Magnamon X top ends you can be teching too. You're playing Gaiamon and winning today with it against Hero Soup and Cross Art. It makes sense. Yeah, the X is very underwhelming. Like the winning card for the Examon deck is where is it? I'm searching Examon. It's your Dracomon. Like the Draco X is the only reason people are really trying it now, and I feel like it's even that doesn't like fix the problems for the deck. It helps. It lets you keep turn before you slam something for 7 memory, but you're not winning off of that play. You're building a board that I feel like is a lot easier to address than people realize. Anyways, so close out some of these tabs, just make it a little easier on myself. Anyway, so back to tier list. Was there anything else from BT21 that we might want to talk about? We're not talking about Red Hybrid. It just got hit. It's not as relevant. Oh, Medusamon. We haven't even put Medusamon on the map. Let's go ahead and grab that real quick. I closed my TCG Plus tab because I'm a doofus. Card search, Medusa. So Medusamon is a pretty interesting spot right now. And by what I mean is, for it being an interesting spot, the support's kind of whatever. Like, its pure deck is kind of whatever. But the top end card, the actual Medusa, is a great card. But I'm not going to be playing a Medusa line deck. It's definitely fun looking, but if you care about competitive, I feel like your payoff for the pure Medusa line isn't enough yet, and we really need more support. Yeah, they will be getting more support. They will be. Okay, so if you guys want to, let's talk about our typing D type at Liberator. So Liberator is something that's probably worth talking about. This is obviously the newest like series going on right now, and I know we just said like, man, it feels like such a crime that in the newest set they only got a rookie. We're in the EX sets, yeah. It's like Ghost got a rookie. Galactimon got a full deck. Medusa got a full deck. Rock's got a rookie, which it's not bad. It's a pretty good rookie. Fish got a rookie. It's pretty much the same thing. It's just like the whole end of attack gain of memories. When you digivolve, it's one less, not once per turn for all it matters. But like, it's something I would have a lot more faith in long run. Reason I say faith long run, if you go to distribution sites, and if you guys haven't seen yet, uh, what is our next set? It's not 22, it's EX9. So we go to versus monsters, and you guys look at the description for this deck, and I know you already said it in the chat, Alexis. They'll be getting more stuff, referring to some of the Liberator decks. The Liberator decks that are getting more support, we already knew about the Adventure deck getting support. If I remember the lines, it was talking about Owen and Galactimons, like Medusa and Galacti. I might be thinking of the BT22 set, actually. Where is it? It's like we already know we're getting adventure support in this set. If we go to BT22, Cyber Eden. I know this is like the Cyber set a lot of people are excited for. If my site loads. Yeah, here it is. So Galactimon for Zenith, Elizamon, which is the Medusa line. So we know we're getting support here. Just those two lines for BT22 at least. BT22 is going to be a 6 set, though. You hate that every red and blue generic gets stolen for Galaxy. Galaxy is a deck that I think's honestly a lot more fair than people give it credit for because it has 0 protection in the deck's archetype, and it folds really hard to memory blockers. Like, you just have to be running the hate cards for it. Next Liberator was Arisa's sister. I'm not sure what you mean there, Shiga. Yeah, I guess if you look at it from the fact that Owen is Medusa support, gosh, we got Owen. We got the first Owen in not BT21. Isn't like in 2.0, 2.5, which if you guys haven't looked through your 2.0, 2.5 bulk, that stuff's going up. Yeah, we just like randomly got the Tamer in BT18, but like what red stuff did we get in BT18? Like we got the metallic Dramon stuff, which doesn't really care about Owen. So it's kind of goofy as so far like placed off. Like what deck was Owen met for in the set he came out in? I actually don't know. Was it really just like a straggler for Liberator? Because like I'm looking here at the set for where he came out. It's just like this random one-off fixer we got. Oh, the next thing I was going to kind of rant about. If you guys didn't know, 2.0 and 2.5 book is kind of worth. Your Owens are literally like 3 to 4 a pop for a base uncommon for 2.0, 2.5. And there's actually quite a bit. Like, the Violet In Boots is worth something right now. It won't be long before Zenith's worth something, assuming he's actually... I don't think he's actually a good one you play or care about in the deck. But the Nenes went up, Sangomons went up. So just something to keep your eye on. If you haven't went through your bulk yet, or you're missing a lot of bulk from the set, it's probably worth filling in like certain slots. Yeah, Shady, exactly. He's just by himself. It's like, okay, why was he by himself? I don't know why. It doesn't make sense to me. But he was. Anyways, this has kind of been like a rambling tier list of having like going through, filling in things. Am I missing anything else? We talked about Zafagamon. Let me pull up Zafaga. So Zafaga is a Liberator, which is a good thing to be in this time. But I don't think we're really getting anything new for the deck to improve from like where it is right now, right? Like you have to have either good green soup cards, which if you're playing green soup, you're playing Green Ranger, and Green Ranger means you're playing like the Bloom Lord Leopard and Medieval Gallant deck. but if I'm putting Zafaga somewhere, it's tier fun. It's cool, but I just wouldn't be playing it competitively. I can be nice to put Galacti as tier fun, but like I wouldn't bring these competitively anywhere. Yeah, for all you joining me here on just like my rant tonight, it's a lot of fun. I enjoyed it a lot. Anyways, I think that's probably the tier list I'll end up with here. I don't think I missed anything else. Like Limitless. Am I missing anything from this tournament? We talked about Purple Hybrid, Royal Knights, Hunters, Anga, Virus, Anga. I talked about Bloom. Adventure's the deck that I definitely see a lot of potential in the future. We talked about that. Imperials, Levia. Excuse me. Bielstar's a fun deck. We can put Appa tiers on the deck list and call it tier fun. What's the Scope Mon? This card you only play in Appa tiers. It's like, if I want to add it to the list, it's not relevant for meta, but it's definitely fun. Yeah, they're bad, non-meta. I think this probably wraps up like the whole meta angle. Uh, but yeah, so stream layout looks good. Sounds like we're all in a good spot with that. Tier list, I think we're all pretty much the same page on, or at least you guys understand where I'm at with it. What do I think is actually going to be like your top decks to look out for? I think Hunters, I think Armors, I think Adventure, and Megidramon are your top 4 of like the new decks to be like, yeah, this looks like it is tier 1 and the best deck. If we want to talk about oldies and goodies that probably go under like the top tier list, I think Purple Hybrid probably pops up again because I think it's just faster Hunters. It can do the same thing Hunters does, but just quicker. Armors is unique. The fact that it's defensive with its option card, Armor Digivolution. These decks, I think, they're good, but they're a little slow. Like, if you want to play Gallantmon, play Megidra now. I think Megidra probably does it better. Megidra's biggest downside, I guess, where you can put Gallant like side by side with it, is Gallantmon has protection, Megidramon doesn't. Megidramon dies to a good ace, and like the deck doesn't pop off, right? If you spin it to the bottom, you don't get the deletion effect. If you de-digivolve it, you don't get your deletion effect. If you ace it with anything relevant, that's where it kind of struggles. Anyways, so housekeeping stuff for the actual server, though. Let me pull this up. Anyways, so y'all see here in the Eagles Nest server, we just kind of vibe. Like, we've had a lot going on. We've had a lot of growth. If you look at a server and its size, not in the boost section. There's my X. Escape. There we go. I'm trying to remember. There should be a way to show how many people I have. Oh, well, it's like, we're like 1,300 people now. This server is grown, and it's been massive. We've had a lot of things to add. We've been doing Digimon. We've been doing Gundam. For anyone who doesn't know, for Digimon stuff, I had this fun statistic the other day. I spent just under $400 on shipping labels alone. I shipped out over 3 cases of price support to y'all. And there's been so much growth here. Had international packages going out. We've had a lot going to Texas. Really big community down there. California also large. But with that being said, I've been doing a lot on trying to catch up on everything for y'all. I'm sitting on about a case worth of price support left for this set before we go on to EX9, which I think I have 7 cases of. So I think there's a chance we'll be going through a lot of that product too together. But because I spent so much in shipping labels, it was a little bit more than I was kind of predicting. I'm a little behind on cash payouts, so if you guys are waiting on a cash payout for me, just be aware of that. I will be getting to y'all, so don't sweat it. I'm not going to short y'all. I'm just going to be a little longer than I normally am. And then last update for the channel here. Season 4 finals. I know I owe the prizing still. Panda sent me a message today, and He has the sleeves. They're in transit to me now, so we will have those. And if you guys are actually looking to buy any of those sleeves, feel free to hit me up. I'll have some extras to help ship out, especially if you're international. I can help ship them internationally to like Europe or South America to y'all. But those are for the like Takamika sleeves and the I think he's shown off the D Brigade sleeves already. But I'll have some extras of those. Anyways, so those are channel updates there. If you guys haven't checked out yet, we do have Chrome. Have I not posted? We do our weekly events every Monday, every Thursday. I have not posted my events for this week. Here, we'll do this together as chat. If you guys haven't seen, this is how I post everything. Tournament, publish. And we can ignore the fact that says 21 or 2.5, it's BT21. If you guys have not seen, we got our signups live. They totally were there already. You heard Takamika? Hey, Panda, how we doing, man? Yeah, I was going to say, you got all the sleeves in, or you got at least a lot of sleeves in today. I was just updating everyone. Season 4 Circuit Pricing is going to be shipped out probably next week. It'll be soon. It'll be soon. But yeah, if you guys haven't signed up, feel free to sign up for Monday tournaments. I just went and posted that live. We'll do our weekly announcement tomorrow, like we always do, with all the tournaments coming up for the week. Thursdays are also there. Wednesdays are Gundam locals. We should have our final list for stuff for Gundam locals soon. But yeah, tonight's just kind of been a rant. It's been like a kind of casual pop-up stream. I wanted to do something fun. I wanted to make a tier list video for a while. But I was like, yeah, let's just make it live. Let's chat. You can hear my reaction. I kind of read off of y'all. But I think as a whole, this includes everything that really matters right now, plus whatever defaults were on here. You'll be shipping it tomorrow. Thank you so much, Panda. I appreciate it, man. I know a lot of the channel folks are excited. The sleeves are really good looking. If you guys haven't seen them, top tier art. Like, I think it is some of the best art I've seen in a hot moment. I know you have a lot of stuff under wraps still too, Panda. I know you do, and I'm really excited to see it. See it come out, I should say. But with that being said, thank you so much, guys, for hopping on here. Next time I stream, ideally I'll have a second monitor. You'll either see my channel live tomorrow with a One Piece Store Championship, 64 player. It's capped out. I'm judging it. Unless I get someone to help collab with it. And then we will be streaming on, I believe it's the 18th of May. Yeah, 18th of May we'll have another store championship, but this one for Digimon. Wave 2 of the sleeves is going to be lit. I'm excited, man. I'm excited for you to showcase them. But anyways, guys, this has been Eagle X.